Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you guys. Bridget, number one. All right. Texas Blue, 22, number two. All right. There you go, girl. You need to play 222 in the lottery tomorrow. Hey, Jolly Life. How you doing, sweetie? Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Number three, girlfriend. Aw, Bridget, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And Summer's Angel, you are number four. PG's little girl right there. Um, Prayers for Mama PG and family. How's the little man? The little man is asleep. All right. That's how he is right now. Hope he stays that way for a bit. Right. His mama needs a break. Um, hey Jean, how you doing? Hello, 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 PG. Mods, critters, and me. Good to see you, girl. Good to see you. Miss Justice, how you doing? 111. Much love, PG. Much love to you, girl. You know it. And let's see who else is in here. Hey, Grammy, how you doing? And Holler Boo, good to see you. Stephanie, I didn't want to miss you, girl. And Italian Cookie. Hey, Jenny, how you doing? Minnie Pearl, much love. And Teddy, how you doing? Hello, Prayer Garden. Hello, hello, hello to you. Karen, there you are. Oh, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And absolutely, Miss Justice. Absolutely, keep the channel going. Summer Moon. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, hello, Karen. Good to see you. Hey, Downs, how you doing? Awesome. I need some PG. I've been bored all day. Let's take it down tonight. Right? That might happen too. That might happen. Hey, Kaylee, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Let me see. PG, happy Memorial Weekend. Hey, happy Memorial Weekend to all of you. Been a busy weekend, right? Absolutely. I hope everybody's having cookouts and I know it's not really a time to celebrate, but um, you know, what else can you do? Hey, Ivy's mom, how you doing, sweetie? How you doing? Um, they had a lot of Memorial Day sales too, right? They had a lot of Memorial Day sales, but I've been busy, busy. Um, Trying to get in some overtime, trying to get in uh, some yard work and housework, and you know, and I'm going to tell you guys a secret. It is wonderful. It is wonderful having little man. It is absolutely wonderful having a baby. Because let me tell you something about having a baby. Um, where nobody else wants to do yard work. Well, they don't want to hold or help watch a baby even more. So, um, the upside, the benefits to having a child is nobody wants to watch it while you do something, so they'll go do. They'll go and do the chore instead of watching the child. So you know what? I absolutely am able to get in a movie or two, right? I'm able to. I'm able to actually sit down a little bit. This motherhood might not be so bad, right? It might not be so bad. Um, I'm starting to learn how to use it to my advantage. So just giving you guys the heads up. You want to get your whole family doing everything, doing everything that you, even stuff you don't want to do, but you say you do, so so they'll do it because they don't want to watch the baby. It is beautiful. Right? Yeah, it's the truth. I'm like, I'm like, listen, you hold the baby while I help pack in the groceries and put them. Oh, I'll do that. You hold the baby while I got in the yard. Oh, we'll do that. Right? I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to want to do a whole lot more things. So I can get all this stuff done that I've been trying to get done for a while. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm working I'm working smarter instead of harder now. Right? I had to catch on to it. took me it took me a few months, but I'm catching on. Right? All right. Anyway, I know I came in late, you guys, and but I'm on little man's timing, and I appreciate you guys being on my timing, because you're on his timing too. Yeah, we're all on little man's timing. I'm telling you, little man rules, right? Little man is ruling. That's all I got to say. We don't get to rule anymore. Um, but anyhow, I'm going to get right to it. The timeline. Oh, and I wanted to let you guys know that over the next few days, um, PG's going to be PG's going to be spilling a whole lot of tea. Going to be spilling a whole lot of tea, so you don't want to miss it. Um, whole lot, whole like pouring it out. Going to be pouring it out. So you want to be in here, and I'm going to start coming in earlier. I'm going to start trying to get in earlier in the evening, um, if I can. Well, like earlier, you know, and hopefully it works out. But I'm definitely going to try to come in a lot sooner, and and at least over probably the next week, and I'm just going to basically empty out, you know, everything. Just I'm just going to empty it all out. I mean, you know, I think people have a right to, a right to everything, and it's just going to all get spilled. So get ready for that. Maybe a lot of it you've heard, but I think a whole lot of it you ain't. So, get ready. But tonight I just wanted to pop in. I wanted to go over this timeline, hang out for a little bit, and I think the timeline is important. I think it is very important in Summer's case. Now, this is, this timeline goes before. It goes before Summer came up missing, and it runs up until she went missing. Now, on on March, it was on March the, I think it's like March the 14th. It was like just just a it was just like a week before this. Candace was out having um dinner with Allison's mother, and Summer had a full head of hair, a full head of beautiful blonde hair at the restaurant. And this is like a week later. She has no hair at all. Um, Zilch, right? Zilch hair. Um, and you got to wonder what happened, because that when they were out to dinner, right after that is when Allison's mother and Candace started having, some kind of um disagreement. Remember? That was the last time. That's the last time that, she had anything to do with Candace. Um she was when they went out to eat, and she told Allison to not have anything else to do with Candace as well. Now, in a week later, the Wells do this to Summer. Um, I find that to be pretty interesting. I find that to be pretty interesting. What do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think that Candace, tried to maybe initiate Allison's mother, and like kind of test the waters with her on, you know, what was going on, and like implement her into um kind of implement her into the plan that Donna and Candace had, started, you know, against Summer. Um, because I mean, Summer's case is definitely premeditated. It is absolutely premeditated, um, and planned out before it ever happened. So, um, I remember for 23 months. All right, Carrie, I appreciate that, girlfriend. Absolutely. God bless. I appreciate your support for Summer's channel. God bless you. I'm wondering ticked what ticked Allison's mother, what ticked Sherry off, what ticked her off, what did Candace say or do to to turn this woman against her. And then, I mean, even to the point she told Allison, you need to stop having anything to do with Candace. What could Candace have said or done? I think Sherry would have told. She's a nut. Yeah, she is. She's a nutty butter. That's for sure. Um, and yeah, she sure does that too. Ivy's mom. Mm-hmm. They could have. They could have had. Yeah, that's true, Miss Justice. I mean, when she was with JLR and them, she said that they ain't only going to go down for Summer, but they was going to go down for her kids and Allison's kids. And she was even talking about other kids, right? She was out there like they're going down for some kids. That's what she was out there saying. Yeah, she did. She said Don Wells done something evil. Yeah, and I believe it. After seeing that, after seeing that documentation, that 150% legal paper, unsubstantiated paper. Oh yeah, I believe her. I believe her. You know, that is why it is so important for the laws to be changed. That's why it's so important that the court system stop allowing parents to sign their children over to get away with SA charges. Because when they do that, they don't put them on the registers list, you know, and they should become RSOs, right? They should become RSOs. So people will know to stay away from them. They're not protecting all the other children that these people, at these people's fingertips. And it's I think it's evil to protect some children and say the hell with others. I think that's evil. And I think, that could be a lawsuit. That's my opinion, that it could be a lawsuit. Because, I mean, our law system understood that these people were dangerous. They understood that these people were, assayers. And they failed to protect other people by letting them sign children over to avoid prosecution. They failed society. They failed we the taxpayers. And something's got to be done about that. I'm going to tell you something about. If they will sign the kids over to avoid prosecution, then they would sign an agreement that even signing the kids over, they go on they're going to go on a register's list. They're going to go on the RSO list. And if they don't like it, then we can pull it on into court. We can go ahead and testify. And then they'll go to jail. If found guilty, you will go to jail. You either sign the kids over and get on a register's list to keep every child safe, or else you go to court and get prosecuted and put in prison for, I think it's like 20 years per child, right? It's like 20 years per child. You don't even come up for parole till 15 years of that. And if you got, 60 years in prison, you got 45 years before you can come up for parole, because you got to do 315s, right? And that's a long time. But all children should be taken in consideration, not some children. I mean, if a person's really guilty and they know, if it goes to court, they're going to prison. I mean, if they are scared enough to sign their kids over to the state to avoid prosecution, then they're guilty. They're guilty. Nobody's going to sign their kids over to a state that ain't guilty. There is no one going to do that, right? They're going to be like, no, you ain't getting my kid. You give me some lie detectors test right now. You pull me through the court, right? You pull me through that court. I'm getting my kids back. There ain't no way in hell you're taking my children. I didn't do it, and I will not be labeled. I will not be labeled anyway. You're not going to talk me in to being labeled with that shit. I'm going to tell them. I'm going to clear my name because there ain't nobody going to put that stigma on me. I don't give a damn. You better go back in there and whatever you done, you better on damn do. Because once I take that lie detector's test and I do everything and I come out not guilty, I'm suing the shit up out of you people. Trust me, I'm going to find a way to get restitution. And I'm not just going to get it, for myself. I'm going to get it for every other innocent human being out there that's being put through this kind of shit. I'm going to be a big old billboard for them. Because that's one of the worst things you could ever get attached to you. So no, there's no innocent parent going to just sign their kids over to the state. And if they're scared enough to sign their kids over because obviously they're guilty, then they're going to agree to being on being on the list. They're going to agree to being on the RSO list. And that will protect all children, not some children. I mean, at this point, it just makes me believe that it makes me kind of believe that, that the system, doesn't care if children are violated or not. They just feel like, once the people are, once they're forced, to open their eyes, have to deal with this. They're not interested in, they're wanting to make their job easy and just deal with, the children at hand. They don't care about the kids in the future. They just want to deal with the ones at hand. And so their asses could all move on and forget about it until next time. If I was a judge, if I was a judge and they came before me wanting to, the state's made a deal with these parents that, to sign the kids over to the state and to avoid prosecution. And I was the judge, I'd say absolutely not. Absolutely not. Are they willing to sign, a statement saying they're okay with being put on the, RSO? Are they willing to sign a agreement to go on that to protect every other child? Because if they ain't, we're going to prosecute. Because we have monitors and the kids don't even have to come to court. They can be up on a monitor. And they can testify through a monitor. And they can have counsel with them wherever they are. They can have counsel there, while they're up on the monitor. Right? Exactly, Italian cookie, right? I agree with you. I agree with you. Um, this case is a big mess. That's what it is. It's a huge mess. You had Don Wells over in Utah abusing children, and over in Arkansas abusing children, and then you had him in Tennessee abusing children. You had Candace in Wisconsin abusing children. You had Candace in Arkansas allegedly abusing a child with illegal substances before it was even ever born. You had Candace over in Tennessee, and that's a fact, abusing children. Um, you know, two of them. We got documentation in Wisconsin. We got documentation in Tennessee. Um, we don't have documentation in Arkansas. That's just um, coming through the grapevine from people who were there and knew Candace, seen Candace, and more than one person said Candace was pregnant when Pam and Donald took her in, and more than one person said that she had the child, and Child Protective Services took it due to substance abuse. So and I'm not sure if all these people knew one another or not, but there was different ones who agreed that yeah, that's why Pam and Donald took her in. And, they didn't expect the child to get taken away from her. They expected the child to come to their house so that, people could do bad things. And the child got took. Thank God. Thank God. They saved it before something like that happened to it, right? The other children weren't so lucky. Hey, how you doing, Roadhouse? How you doing, sweetie? Yeah, I think she did, Lisa. I think she did. Yeah, I believe she did admit to it. You know, we don't have real documentation of it. Nobody even knows, where the child's at, how its life turned out, or anything. Hey, Australia, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you in here. But yeah, I don't know. This case is, this case is a nightmare. It's a real, it's just tragedy. It's just tragedy all the way around. I mean, I have to agree with you guys. There should be some type of after Candace did that in Wisconsin, it should have been, a bulletin should have been sent out across, all across America to every state. There should have been, an alert sent out that if she went to any hospital and had a child after that, it was to immediately be taken into custody because of the severe abuse with the first two. It should have that should have they put out most wanted, right? Most wanted criminals. You see the most wanted list all the time. And if they can put out most wanted list, for criminals because they do this and they do that, well, don't you think abusing children is a criminal list too? And I think that, that criminal list should be across all 50 states as well. That's just my opinion. I heard Chris Madonna. I heard he was uncovering the JonBenét case and actually had JonBenét's dad, um, JonBenét's dad on panel. I haven't got to see it yet. I'm going to make sure I go watch that. But I bet that's going to be very interesting. So if you didn't know, I'm telling you. And that's going to be very interesting. JonBenét Ramsey case is, like huge, right? Even all these years later, still huge. People are looking for it to be solved. And I definitely want to check that out for sure. Yeah. I keep up on that case. I kept up on it all these years. On that case. My mom kept up on that case. About that little girl. And, I always thought Santa had something to do with that. I mean, I really did. I kind of think they dropped. I think they were so focused on the parents that they dropped the ball on reality, because Lou, that's the detective that was on the case working for the righteousness. He wasn't really working for the Ramseys. He wasn't working for law enforcement. He was working for righteousness, right? He wanted the truth. He wanted the real truth, of what happened to JonBenét. And Lou went there, and he was able to go down in that basement through that window. He was able to enter the house without breaking any cobwebs, without moving any of that glass or anything. He went through that window and didn't disturb nothing. And, the news lied a lot because they tried to say there wasn't no tracks in the snow. There was no snow. There wasn't no snow to leave tracks in. And that Santa had been there. That Santa had been all over their house. They had hired him to play Santa at a house showing there. That community opened their doors, to tourists to come in and and view their homes and stuff like that. And that Santa was hired up by Patsy to, for all the children coming in and out during the Christmas lighting ceremony going on through there. And anyway, JonBenét had gave Santa a tour of the house, even upstairs, even all the way upstairs in Patsy's and John's bedroom, because Santa said that he had seen a Bible laying on Patsy's nightstand, and he remembered what the Bible had been open to. The very passage that she kept her Bible opened on. And also that Santa was a professor, a college professor. And college professors grade papers, they write papers, right? They write books, they they're and a three page ransom note wouldn't have been nothing for a college professor, right? It would have been nothing. And what else would he have done? What else would he have done? Because he was already in the house before they ever got home. So he didn't have nothing but time on his hands. Why would he not write a 3-page ransom note, right? Yeah, it was creepy. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I mean, I have my reasoning, to believe this because, I observed that Santa guy, and he said and done some really weird stuff. And he told John and Patsy, that they was 2 other little girls. He mentioned about 2 other little girls, and he also, JonBenét had gave him like this little thing of glitter or something, and he wanted it buried with him. He wanted to take it with him. And I mean, I felt that to be kind of weird and didn't make no sense, right? And he was following him around. I mean, if you look in the videos, he was at the church. He was at different places where they was after JonBenét came up missing. It's almost like he was following them around, right? And I found that to be a little disturbing also, right? I just found that to be really weird. I don't think that Patsy would have done something like that to her own child. And she was too much of a mess. She was too much of a mess. And, I think they were too scared of God to do something to one of their children. I mean, they had other kids. Patsy didn't, but John Ramsey did. And they had other kids. And, John didn't ever do nothing. He ever done anything to his other kids, right? He hadn't, and it didn't seem he'd ever done nothing to the ones they had. And, I mean, I kind of agree with Lou, the detective. People always want to, look at the parents. They always want to, I mean, they could have did it. I don't know. I have no idea. I just found the Santa really creepy. And there was a guy that came forth and said that he helped, that it was him and that Santa and him went there, and then the guy ended up unalived right after he came out and told. He ended up unalived, right? That was really freaking weird. So I don't know. I just, a lot of, where Santa was concerned, there was a lot of, questioning, in my opinion. And also, John's best friend who completely turned on him. I had, my thoughts with them too, because they had a key to the house. They had a key to the house because they were the ones checking on the house when John and Patsy wasn't there. And they wanted JonBenét to spend the night at their place, but she couldn't because they were leaving super early in the morning, and they didn't want to have to go over waking people up to pick her up. And but they really wanted to keep her for some reason. And these were people that had a key to the house. And what better way to get the focus off of you than to turn on the family and get it all put on them, right? Ain't that what Don Wells did? Didn't Don Wells turn on everybody new in order to get the focus off of them? Yeah. I mean, that's a tactic. That's a tactic that a lot of people use. I didn't ever hear Patsy's mom say that Patsy was a witch. I didn't ever hear that. I heard Patsy's mother talk about Patsy's battle with cancer. And, I heard everything I heard about John and Patsy, except out of the John's best friends and their family. Everybody else seemed to talk real good about them, talked really good about them. So I don't know. This was 4/12 of 2021. Four 2021. Summer was looking sick. She was really looking sick. 4/17/2021. There's no way. There's no way this picture was taken 4/17/2021, and I'll tell you why. Because this was taken 18 days. 18 days before Summer went missing. This was taken on the same day that Dudley was up there. His vehicle was up there. And that was 18 days before. Somebody's got this timeline messed up. Because this picture was not. Now this one was 5/14/21. That's true. But that other one wasn't taken at that time. 5/20/2021. Yeah. But the other one was taken when she was dancing around the for sale barrel. And that was 18 days before she went missing. Isn't she so cute? She is so adorable. This little girl she's just pretty. Candace, Candace could shave this baby's head every day of the week and it would have still been beautiful. This little girl would have still been beautiful. Candace would have still been jealous of her, right? She'd have still been jealous of her. Because I'm going to tell you, this little girl wasn't only beautiful, outside. She was beautiful on the inside. Absolutely full of light, love, kindness, and caring. This little girl was a genuine gem, and they had no idea, the value of this child right here. Don and Candace had no idea what this kid could have grown up and became. This child could have became successful. I mean, like super successful in life if she'd have just had the right people raising her. This child right here this child right there could have become a doctor, a surgeon. She could have became something like amazing in this life if she would have just had that opportunity. And like they destroyed it. They destroyed it. Summer was very rare. She was a very rare, you know, child. Like Quentin Simon, right? She was very, very rare. You don't get children like that, very often. It's like they're born to become something, something huge. Like, it's like they're born to be successful, to become something, big in life. And so many of them get destroyed. It seems like those are the children who get destroyed. It don't make no sense. Um, Summer's um, Summer's middle brother, the middle one, not the oldest one, not the youngest one, the middle one. You could tell he's got some kind of gift too. That middle son has some type of gift. And, hopefully he can overcome all the trauma and pursue, the life that's going to make him successful, because I really believe that he has that gift as well. Um, that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Summer was very observant, wasn't she? She was like right on the money, at looking people in the eyes, and I mean, this child knew. She knew. She could read people. Summer could read people. Trust me, she really could. No matter what they did to her, no matter what they did to her, she found a way. She found a way to enjoy life. She found a way to throw it behind her back and still enjoy life. And boy, I bet that irritated Dawn and Candace's demons. What do you think? I bet it irritated their demons. Now, I wanted to bring this picture to your guys' attention, because remember Candace said that Summer was inside, right inside the door, playing with her toys. Remember that? Put a one in the chat if you remember her telling on the news station and telling Chris, and oh, she was just right inside the door playing with her toys on the floor. And I called her out to plant the cactuses. Do you remember that? This is where Candace got the lie from. She got the lie from 6/5/2021. On 6/5/2021, Candace took notice that Summer was playing with toys on that floor. Candace really took notice of what Summer was doing on that day. For some reason, Candace was focused on Summer on 6/5/2021. She was really focused on this little girl and what this little girl had been doing. And that is where she got her fucking gaslighting lie from about, oh, because see, she told you what happened on 6/5. I mean, she wasn't telling you a lie, per se, that Summer was sitting on the floor playing with her toys. She just was telling you about another day, not June 15th. She was telling you about June 5th. That's why her lie sounded so convincing. It's because she was using real shit that happened, that had just happened in the recent week or so, that was real. It was real. And that's why it was sounding so convincing. But when I seen this picture here, I said, son of a bitch, that's where she got that fucking lie from. Right here. This was it. This is where, this is why she sounded so convincing that the child was inside on the floor. The child really was, but not on the 15th. That was on the 5th, right? I told you Summer wasn't ever in that house. She didn't ever get out of that vehicle, in my opinion, right? Didn't even get out of that vehicle. Candace was using stuff that, but it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary to, it's kind of scary to know that she was really focused on Summer on 6/5 of 2021, right? 10 days before Summer went missing, 10 days before she went missing, Candace was like hyper focused on her, right? And what she's doing. That's just fucking weird. That's just fucking weird. Look, right there. See? She's focused on it. Mm-hmm. She was probably like, I want to take a picture of you, and then you're going to clean this shit up, right? Then you're going to clean this shit up. That's probably, what she was saying. This was 6/11 of 2021. I'm going to run it back and check that. I'm just going to run it back and check it, you guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, that would have been right. It was the day before they went to church, the day before they took Marlena Cropper's daughter home. That was one day. That was on a Friday. It was on a Friday. They went to church on the 12th, which was a Saturday. Summer came up missing, and that's Saturdays when they took Marlena's daughter home and dropped her off. And on the 15th is when Summer came up missing. Yeah. So, and Summer was sick here. A matter of fact, she went down that slipper thing, and the brother had to pick her up. He was having to pick her up. She couldn't get up on her own. And there, I guess this is the, rough picture that, Dawn Wells said the day before she was, up on the roof on the 14th. Now, if Child Protective Services was coming on the 14th to close the case, do you think they would have really let Summer up on a roof? Do you really think they would have been taking the risk of Child Protective Services seeing children, playing around on top of the house, on top of the roof? Hell no. Hell no. That's what I'm telling you. There is no way Child Protective Services showed up on the 14th. They didn't show up on the 15th. Nobody was shutting no cases. They had an open case and it was still opened on the day Summer went missing, right? It was still open on the day Summer went missing. I'm going to tell you what happened on the 14th. On the 14th, Don Wells came home early. When he came into Ben Hill Road, he saw Jackie Dobbs. Everybody saw Jackie Dobbs. You don't come into Ben Hill Road without seeing everything. You know, as soon as someone turns off of Beach Creek onto Ben Hill, everybody in Ben Hill knows it. You know, they know that somebody just entered, and everybody is looking to see, to see who entered. Like, eyeballs. You don't see them, but they see you. You know, and I don't want to hear. I mean, unless it's like a motorcycle and and nobody else has any. That's that loud. That's that loud. Then you might know that person. You might know. Okay. Oh, you know who that is. You know. But when it comes to vehicles, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Unless they're dragging a muffler or something, or their cars make some kind of funky sound, you ain't gonna know who it is. I mean, that's why people look. They look to see, if it's somebody that lives in there or if it's somebody, that don't belong. And if it's somebody that don't belong, then phone calls start going off, right? It's like ring, ring, ring. Hey, Joe, do you know somebody's got a Pinto? Oh, hell yeah, I just saw one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, it isn't only purple, but it's got bumper stickers. I saw them bumper stickers. It had one big bumper sticker. I could read it from where I'm at. Mm-hmm. I don't know who was driving it. Did he come by your place? Oh, you're going to go out and check it out? Okay. I think I'll come out and check it out too. And then you got everybody out checking it out. Because they want to know who the hell is driving that Pinto with giant bumper stickers on it. And what the hell is it doing in there? And these people don't have no problem. They don't have no problem rolling up on you and, and saying, hey, are you lost? Do you need directions? Right? Because these people's got all to hide and they don't want your ass in there snooping around. And Jackie Dobbs pulled up on the 14th. And I'm telling you, everybody knew. Don Wells seen him. Don Wells talked to him first. And Don immediately called Andy and Jody Sue. Don called down to Fred. Jody Sue called the law. And, and they got him out of there. They got him out of there. And after they got him out of there, Don and Candace and Grandis, all the kids, all four of them kids, including Summer, and Jody Sue and her Andy, and their kids were all down at the bottom of the property, down there by the road, and they were all having, a big discussion and talking and just, like one big road party. And a noisy, very noisy one. And then, like dusk to dark, it got quiet. It got quiet. Grandis had the Wells kids up on the hill. Jody Sue's son had the kids on their hill. And Don, Candace, Andy, and Jody Sue were out looking for Jackie Dobbs, right? Why would they be out looking for Jackie Dobbs? Why the hell would they need to go look for Jackie Dobbs? They went to all the places they suggested. They went up and down side roads to see if he's camping. Why are they looking for this man? I mean, this is a super old man that, he couldn't even run fast enough to get away. Right? Why would you go looking for him? I don't think Don Wells would have any struggle with, would have no struggles with Jackie Dobbs. I don't think Andy Bernard would have a struggle with Jackie Dobbs. I mean, this is an old man. It ain't like he's going to boot, scoot, and boogie, right? And here they are looking for him. I mean, they're the threat. They're the threat, not Jackie Dobbs. I mean, there's 4 of these mother freakers and only one Jackie. Come on. And Jody Sue wanted to play like she's scared. Oh, me and Candace are scared. We're afraid of the bears and the coyotes, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. And we're scared of old guys that ain't able to run if we wanted to catch them. If it was Sadie Hawkins' day, Jackie Dobbs would have been married because he couldn't run, right? Come on. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Right? Anyway, what was they all doing? There was no child protective services coming around there. That's fucking insane. Lie. Why they lie? Well, if they're not guilty of nothing, why did they need to lie so much? If they're not guilty of nothing, why were they playing all their games? If they're not guilty of nothing, why were they throwing everybody else under a damn bus? To keep the focus off themselves. If they ain't guilty of nothing, why did Don want to talk about anything and everything except his daughter who was missing? I'm going to tell you everything I just said says guilty, 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 guilty. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, Don Wells' ass knew Summer was gone when his ass got up that morning, packed her and put her in Grandis's car for Dawn or for Candace and Grandis to take off and go do what they did. Don Wells knew. That's why his ass was driving that Subaru, hiding that ass over in Jonesboro and in that, in that unit all day long, waiting for everything to go down. So he could act like he was so fucking innocent when he wasn't innocent at all, in my opinion, right? I aged myself, the Pinto and the bumper stickers. Girlfriend, let me tell you something. These people still have bumper stickers. The new thing is to wrap your car, right? The new thing now is to wrap your car in a big old bunch of BS. But you age yourself, PG with the Pinto and bumper stickers. I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, everybody, you know, talks about a Pinto, right? Like it's the lowest of the low cars. Um, Everybody wants a Cadillac, a Maserati, you know, a limousine, hopefully with a good driver. Um, Nobody wants the Pinto, right? Um, I don't think that's aging myself. That would be like, you know, me hollering hee haw, you know, or you know, I searched the world over and thought I found true love, right? And I don't want to go on with the rest because, you know, that's just gross. But okay, they still play hee haw on TV net in today's world, you know, like those million channels we all have. There's still classic shows on there, like old movies. It doesn't mean I'm old. It means I'm intelligent. It means that I know, you know, the wholesomeness that this country once had and somehow got lost, right? I mean, we don't get to watch no Ma and Pa Kittle funny shows today like that. Family, good family, wholesome shows. No. What we're watching is trying to alter our brains into believing it's okay to be immoral as hell. And I don't like to watch today's shows of being immoral as hell. I like to watch all the old funny stuff, right? And that's at my fingertips. I don't know. It's like, you know, people have this aha moment. PG is Granny Clampett, 150 years old. I think she come off the ark. You know, if you want to believe I'm old, believe it. You know, I'm not going to fight it. I don't have to. You know, I'm sitting here and I know who I am. And I'm going to be honest with you. No old person could do everything I'm doing. Hell no. I've been out here for 5 years. I've seen people, you know, okay, I'm supposed to be the super old person. Let's get on that topic right now. If I'm a super old person, then why does these people that's supposed to be younger than me have to quit YouTube because they can't handle it? It's too rigorous for them. Why do they have to quit? Because my ass is here all the time. My ass is here all the time. I'm like the fucking mailman. I'm here rain, shine, sleet, snow. Right? I must be in awful good fucking shape to be 150 years old. I must be in one hell of a good shape. Shit. I have to be in one hell of a good shape if I, you know, to be 70 or 80. I have to be in one hell of a good shape. I hope I am in that good a shape when I'm freaking 70, 80. Right? I hope I'm in this good a shape when I'm 150. For real. I'm going to run marathons and shit. Right? I'm going to run marathons and shit. I'm going to be kicking up my old ass heels. I don't have to worry about my kids. I don't have to worry about my kids putting me in the old folks home. Those motherfucking old folks homes wouldn't keep me. They wouldn't keep me. They'd be like, Your mother freaking mother is outside and somebody needs to come and pick her up, right? They're going to have, you know how Candace isn't allowed in Walmart? PG ain't going to be allowed in any senior citizen homes. Not any, right? They're not going to let me in there. Because if they let PG in there, all them old folks going to live forever. Them old folks are all going to live forever. You know, they're going to be running around like a bunch of freaking grade school kids on a playground, right? It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess inside that old folks' home. You know, it's going to be food fights and shit. Like, I don't believe in getting old, right? I'm part of the Peter Pan Club. Oh, that tells how old I am because I know about Peter Pan and Wendy and the Lost Boys. Right. I'm going to tell you something. If I was old, I couldn't remember that shit. Right? Old people can't remember stuff. I better quit laughing because one day I'm going to be fucking old and probably senile and shit. You know, and I'm going to sit there. The only one thing I'm going to remember is laughing when people were calling me old. You know, about if you're old, you can't remember anything. That's the truth. and 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 not like that, but old people also be like, "What did you say? What did you say? I didn't hear you. Speak up." Right? I can't hear you. Oh my goodness. There you go. That's right, Chili Pepper. I heard that, girl. I heard that. I heard that. Man, I want to tell you something. I get old, I'm going to be a nightmare. For real. I'm going to tell you something. Kids get away with everything, and old people get away with everything. You know? And with my parents, I didn't get away with shit. I didn't get away with nothing when I was a kid. So when I get old, I'm going to be getting away with everything. Your dad called you 5 times last night? Girl, you needed to get some rest. You needed to get well, Australia. Because your whole family's not feeling good right now. I mean, I'm glad your dad called you, but it sounded like you didn't get no rest. On Broadway. Peter Pan was on Broadway. He can't remember. He can't remember. Oh, I see. He keeps calling you because he doesn't remember. Yeah, that's so sad, girl. That is so sad. You know what I was looking at? Did you know that Allison was like 34 when she passed away? And did you know that she was in her 30s? And do you know Leslie was only in her 50s? Did you know Leslie was only in her 50s? Uh, don't you find it weird that these two ladies, I mean, deteriorated and passed away so young? Yeah. I when I was looking for some other content that I wanted to look into, um I was looking into this other content that I was putting together, and I had ran past a double picture that I had made with their ages on it, and I was like, oh damn. You know, I guess I just didn't ever take note to it, you know. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Two women, both, really good friends, just pass away that young. Um, Hell no. I'm going to tell you, I think that's foul play. No way. Absolutely not. Because Leslie didn't seem to have any health issues. Allison really didn't have, any health issues that she couldn't uh, live a normal life with and maintain a normal life without someone, you know, um, hurting her, you know. Um, so there was no reason that these two ladies, should have went out of this world so soon. And it's even weirder that they both went out the same exact way. Yeah, right, Coupon Mama? Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, girl. I was like, oh hell no. That was, that was an eye opener. Leslie looked old. She looked older. She looked older. You know, I mean, you know, the mileage on the outside looked older. Um, but she was still young. She was still young. You know, I'm gonna tell you what, Tennessee ages people fast, don't it? It's like those. It's like I don't know what it is, but like Tennessee really, there's something, I don't know if it's the air or what, but it like ages people super quick. Like you go, if you go over to Florida, say you go, over to Florida, all these people, all these people 70, 80 years old, they be looking like they 50. They be looking 50. These people who are 70, 80 years old are out dining, whining and dining. They're all dressed up nice, their hair done, their nails, and they be actually they be passing up the young people. Like they're speed walking, right? These older people, they're speed walking. And the young people sitting down, they're sitting down and resting while these older people are like, um, you're like, what the hell did they drink? Where they get their vitamins? Um, yeah, they look nice. They look good. And, but, you go over into Tennessee, and I'm going to tell you, them people be like, they're 48 and they look like Fred, and they're only in their 50s. They look like, Leslie. And it's like, damn, what the hell? I mean, I'd be afraid to drink the water, right? Somebody get me a bubble. It could be in the air. I don't know. there's not no young looking old people in Tennessee. They all look like, they look like they all look like they got rode hard and put away wet, you know? And they're only in their 40s and 50s. It's like, damn, what happened to you? It must be something. I know this. I don't want any of it, right? I don't want none. Whatever the hell it is, I don't want none. Right, Summer's Angel. Girl, you got me laughing. Right. She did say that. She did say that. That's the truth. Don Don's next. He's next on the list, right? And that's June the 15th. Now, let me tell you something. Look at this, you guys. Look at this. Because you got Candace. Okay, Candace, she starts at the horse pond, right? And then she takes videos at the store, right? She takes videos at the store, with grandma, using the using the mother freaking old old folks the old folks chair for a race car, right? She's doing 90 in there. Yeah, I heard she was whipping around corners, man, and doing wheelies and everything else. Um, with that knee brace on. And then, and this is where it stops. This is where it stops. Candace was documenting the whole morning. I mean, this is something she doesn't do, right? Tell me one time that Candace documented the whole day, the whole day. When did she ever document, her every move, right? Hey, Granny House, I appreciate that. Super sticker. All right. I appreciate it. Um, when did she ever take a video uh that many times? I mean, she was documenting that whole morning. She hasn't ever done that. I mean, all her life, she wasn't documenting like that. Like if her, she would like if her and Allison and them was going out the to swim or fish or something. She'd take some video and that's it. She didn't take anything on the way home or other places they stopped maybe to get something to eat or pick up some gas. She didn't document that. But on June 15th, 2021, she was documenting. She made sure that she took pictures at the swimming hole of Hunter. She wanted to make sure she took video inside the grocery store with Grandis. She was wanting to document who she was with that day. She was wanting to implicate these people so that she went down, you're going down, right? Put a one in the chat if you think that's what was in her brain, because that's what I think was in her brain. Oh, I'm going to document you, Hunter. I'm going to document you, Mommy Dearest. I'm going to document that we got back close to the house so that we can, gaslight law enforcement into believing an abduction, uh, you know, or anything other than we did it. Um, that's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, she is. I gotta agree with you on that, Chili Pepper. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I did. You know what? I heard law enforcement thought this is what I'm hearing. I don't know. I'm just hearing, okay? I don't want to say, for sure they're saying this. No, did I hear it right out of Ronnie Lawson's mouth? No, but I did hear it. Do I trust a person? Absolutely. I trust them. But here's what I'm hearing. They think Summer's hair was blow dried. They actually believe a blow dryer had been taken to her hair. And you know what? When I'm looking at it right now, I'm thinking it was too. Take a look at it. I mean, the only way you're going to get hair that fluffy after swimming is to blow dry it, right? It's not going to fluff up like that if it was not blow dried. Because after you've been in dirty water, your hair gets wet in dirty water, it's going to it's going to be like, um, all smashed down. It's not going to look, and even when it dries, it's still going to have that, that flat look. So I agree. It does. It looks like, it definitely looks like someone took a blow dryer and fluffed her hair up. And it even looks like they used like it looks like they might have used like a wide tooth comb or something. Um because there's, like, look at the back part of it. It's like they was running like a wide tooth comb through her hair, because that's like the wide tooth comb tire tracks, in her hair. That's what that is. Oh, it would stick up with the blow dryer. That's it, and I think that was a great observation. I think that was an excellent observation. You know, um, if law enforcement took note to that, that was an excellent observation, in my opinion. It means they're doing their job. But if you take note, the side of the head that is on the milk jugs, is swollen. Did you see that right there? Can you see the bluing is coming out halfway out of, it's coming all the way out to where her eye meets her nose. You can see the discoloration underneath the makeup going all the way over to her nose. But the side that got down on the milk jugs, you can tell is swollen. The other side isn't swollen. And if you look at her eye, if you look at the eye on that side of her head, um, if you really look at her eye, something's wrong with her eye. The corner of her eye is pushed up. Um, the other eye is normal, but the one on this side, um, right, right, the corner of it is pushed. It's like someone put their finger in it and pushed it out of place. And that's what it looks like to me on that side. The eye socket don't look right. Like it's been, the one corner has been pushed up, and the side of her head is swollen. It's definitely swollen. The other side, is, is discolored, lack of oxygen. You can see the lack of oxygen on the other side of her head, where the hood is. But the one on the milk jug, you can clearly tell that it's, it's protruding out. It's, it's swollen. The swollenness is laying on that milk jug right there. It should have been flat. It should have been flat like the other side, but it's not. It's actually sticking out, and the eye socket, something's wrong with that eye right there. I got a closer up picture. I didn't bring that tonight. I didn't bring that in here, but I got a real close up one that I'll bring in with me tomorrow and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this is supposed to be a still picture of Candace driving the car on June 15th, 2021 at like 3:10. This is supposed to have been a picture of her. And she looks freaked out, right? She looks freaked out. Like, like she just looks zoned out, like criminals do. She looks like somebody she actually looks like somebody that committed a crime. Right? She looks like somebody that committed a crime, like totally, look how opened her eyes are, like she's just freaked the fuck out. That when they sung that song, Freak Out. Well, I think I think somebody was looking at a picture of someone like that, because she definitely looks freaked out. And this is supposed to be June 16th, and Dom Wells sitting by the flowers. Well, if Donnie Boy's sitting out there by the flower pots that supposedly had just been planted on the 15th, then why is there a great big weed? You see that great big weed sticking out right there? In the front planter, the little square planter right there, it's got 1 cactus, 2 cactus, 3 cactus. But over in the corner, look at that big ass weed. It's going to take more than a day for that big ass weed to grow. Look at the other pot, look at all the weeds in it. And the little tiny bucket back here, it looked like somebody tried to groom that thing to, try to groom it to look like something had been planted. No, they did a really bad job. They did a really bad job in convincing somebody that this was planted one day before summer, before this picture was taken. Oh, yeah, you're right. It does. It says July 16th. Okay, my bad. No. July would be 7/16. It says 6/16, which is June, one day after Summer went missing. Girlfriend, you messing me up. July is the 7th month, not the 6th month. Ivy's mom, girl, I'm going to tell you, the only thing me and you could do after sitting around together is go out, party, and get a drink, right? We'd have to go get a drink. You be confusing me, I be confusing you. Shit. Girl, we be singing Whiskey River Don't Run Dry, right? Don't run dry. I got to get to the other side. And back again. And back again. Amen. Hey, girl, I'm for it too. I need, here lately, I'd be feeling like I need a couple of stiff drinks, right? I need a couple of them. Just put the damn bottle on the table, baby, and walk away. Coupon Mama, you're going with us. You're going with us, girlfriend. We got to take you with us. We're going to have to get a couple bottles put on the table and have them walk away. She said she thought it was 8:16. I was getting all kinds of confused. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that's one day. You know, got PG doubting myself. Oh, I heard that, Chili Pepper. I'm gonna tell you, I be listening to old music. I listen to old music. I listen to like country music, rock. I listen to everything. It don't matter to me. I listen to a lot of gospel music. I listen to a lot of gospel music. They got some good gospel music too, especially like right now. Right now, right? Like you gotta walk that walk, let them talk that talk, right? That's a good one. That's a good one. I love that song. PGB, singing along with it. You gotta do what you do and let them do what they do. Right? If they talk about Jesus, you know they'll talk about you. Right? PG be jamming down with it. I be doing the dance. Right? I'm teaching little man. He got to take his little fingers and walk. Hey girl. I'm like, I don't care where the whiskey coming from, just give it to me. Right? Just give it to me. Give it to me straight up. I want it straight up. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. And I don't want no chasers. Right? You know, forget the chaser. It might damage what I'm set out to do. Right? I don't need my whiskey malfunctioning. I don't need that shit. You're gonna be out in your own disco pants. Right? She said you have your own disco pants on. Oh shit. Hey girl. That is funny. Oh God have mercy. we're going to have disco pants and some of those stacked shoes, right? Bell bottoms, right? That'd be funny as hell. Oh, there you go. That was funny. Oh God. And you gotta wonder who Don's talking to on the phone. he's probably listen, you guys. He's probably over there. He's probably over there with those plants. He's probably over there with those plants calling Fred. He's calling up Fred on the phone, right? He's calling old Freddy boy like, Fred, are you home? He's hiding behind that vehicle. He's like, Fred, you home? I need to come down there. I need to come down there. Gotta hide. Mother freaker law enforcement's on the other side of this vehicle wanting to talk to me. Don didn't want to talk to law enforcement. Oh shit. Yeah, that's a beautiful song. It sure is. Um, Australia. Absolutely. Okay. Let's hear what Candace and Grandis has to say.
And a few days prior to that, they were working on this.
Okay.
So I've even come to a conclusion maybe one of them people have snatched it.
Oh, interesting.
Because they were all the way up here on
Yeah,
my
I see those.
Wow, she just threw all the tree trimmers under the bus, right? All the tree trimmers under the bus. I think one of them might have snatched her. Well, we may have believed that, Candace, if they weren't all gone before your ass got home. You know, something happened that day. There was a electrical line or something that had came down. And that's why everybody had to go home early. And I want to tell you something. Don't you find it funny that the electrical line came down out of nowhere and all of these people got sent home? All the workers, everybody when Candace came back to Ben Hill Road, everybody had already left. All of them. All of them had left, and the line had already been put back up, fixed and put back up, and they were all going to be back the next day to work. Don't you find it weird that God Almighty snapped a line to save all of these people from having to be looked at and, suspicion put on them that they didn't deserve? I mean, how else could you explain that? I think the Lord himself snapped that line to save all of those workers from being prey to Don and Candace. I think I think God, somebody that was working in that crew really had God's grace on them. Because God was like, I'm not going to let you guys be accused of this, right? I'm going to tell you something. I bet you every one of them workers was thanking God that they wasn't up there when that shit went down. I bet you they was. Because they knew that they would have, that they might have been accused. They might have, months and months and months turning into years being looked at like they were something that they weren't. That's a nightmare. That's an absolute nightmare to have, somebody stigmatize you with those kind of accusations. And that's what Candace was doing. And she knew that those guys weren't even there, not a damn one of them. Not even the ones that came in to fix the electrical line was there. even Jody Sue said that the power went down, all the workers went out, they left, and people came in and fixed the power line. Power was back up, been up for a while, when Candace came back into Ben Hill Road. When Candace came in and went up on the hill, everything was fixed. Nobody was there. So how is she going to stand there and accuse? Why didn't she tell Chris? I don't think none of them did anything because they all got off early. And a power line even fell, and it was fixed by the time we got back. So I don't think any of them had anything to do with nothing. Why didn't she say that? No. Her guilty ass wanted to throw them people under the bus. Get the focus on them and off the real guilty fucking human beings, right? Get the focus off the real guilty ones, which was her ass, Dawn's ass, Grandis's ass, right? That's what I believe. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. When people are too eager to throw other people under the bus, too eager to try to convince you that humans done something that you know they pretty much wouldn't do, or they weren't even around to do it, that tells me I probably should be looking at you, right? That's just my opinion. If I was hanging around with somebody and something happened and they're telling me, oh, I think it was so and so, and I think it was possibly this person and that person, and I know for a fact that some of these people wasn't even there, and I know for a fact that some of the other ones just wouldn't be capable of doing it. It's bullshit. Like old Jackie Dobbs. I would immediately disconnect. I would immediately disconnect with that person. I would immediately stay the hell away from them, because immediately I would understand you're fucking guilty. You're guilty, man. You are trying to put people under a bus to keep the focus off of you. And you wouldn't be doing that if you weren't guilty. Stay away from me, right? Just stay away from me. Because I don't want to be around people, that's capable of committing crimes like that. And then, trying to put innocent people in the hot seat for it. Oh, hell no. I mean, you know what they always say. What goes around comes around, right? No thanks. They do it with you, they do it to you. I don't need that in my life. I don't think they took her to a crusher. Matter of fact, a friend of mine went to the scrap yards that Fred and Laura supposedly went to on June the 15th, 2021. And it was, it was just a bunch of bullshit. It was, turned out to be a big nothing booger, right? And Laura slipped up and said, her daughter, came in and said that, you know, Chad and Candace was out there. Well, how's your daughter going to come in and tell you that Chad and Candace was out there if you weren't home? How's your daughter, you know? So that showed right there, Laura's slip up showed that her and Fred was there. And even her daughter was there on June 15th, 2021. Her oldest daughter, Laura's daughter, that she had before she married Fred, was there. Yeah, right.
Parks here.
Okay, your mom's truck's right here.
Yes.
Okay, so when she's leaning against the milk. Is she sleeping?
She was sleeping, yes.
Okay. From exhaustion from that day?
Yes, she was.
Now take a look. You can see that one eye, the one towards the milk jug. Do you see what I mean when I told you it's pushed out of place? You see the corner? Look at her, look at the eye. If you're looking at the screen, look at the one on the right. The one on the right is to go straight across like normal. Okay? Now look at the one towards the milk jug on your left. And if you follow the eyelash, follow the eyelash, that eye is pushed up on the corner, you know, over by the ear, where her ear would be. The corner of the eye where her ear would be is pushed up towards her top of her head. The other one isn't. This one is. And you can see the swelling. You can see the swelling on that side of the head. You can see how it's swollen out real bad, and it's even more discolored than the other side. But her eye is also messed up. It's as if somebody's finger, you know, got caught in there and pushed it out of place. That's what it looks like to me. You know, pushed it up out of socket. That's, you know, that one corner of the eye. And it also looks swollen. The eyelid, if you look, back up away from it a little bit and take a look, the eyelid looks swollen. The other eyelid don't look swollen, but that one does. It looks swollen all the way up to the eyebrow almost. It looks, you know, it looks swollen up. Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, and the cheek, that particular side of her head, it you know, all looks swollen. It's true. It's like somebody worked on that side of her head, you know. It looks like that's the side it looks like, you know, on some blunt force. That, you know, to me, that's my opinion. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely, Leslie. Absolutely. Amen. I agree. It's, you know, this is a hard case. It's a hard case to listen to. It's a hard case to, you know, it's hard to process, because you've got so many You got so many liars in it. You got so many people involved and mixed up in it, right? You got, you know, it's overwhelming. This case is overwhelming to say the least, right? D Hicks, that is beautiful. She said Australia. Prayers are continuously held high for all of you. Girlfriend, that is so kind. God bless you. You got that right, Chili Pepper. I'm telling you right now. Mm-hmm. Straight up. I think, to be honest with you, I think there's corruption in every field out there. Right? I don't care, if it's Congress, the Senate, the city council. I don't care if it's law enforcement. I don't care if it's, the justice system. It doesn't matter. CPS, it doesn't matter. It's corruption everywhere. Just, you got corrupt people, and, and every area of the work field out there. They're not all good people. There's bad. There's bad judges, there's bad cops, there's bad, senators, there's bad, bad in everything. You got to take the bad with the good. If it wasn't for, the bad, I guess you wouldn't know how good you got it. Right? Oh yeah, doctors too. You got your girlfriend. I'm gonna tell you right now. Woo, you got it. You got to use your gut when it comes to doctors, right? I'm gonna tell you something. Trust me. If you're willing to believe something's wrong with you, you will find a doctor that's going to let you believe it, and they're going to, and they're going to do whatever they can to make money, off of, like, it don't pay to be no hypochondriac. That's for sure. It does not pay to, want that type of attention. That is the last type of attention that you would want to seek in this world. Because I'm going to tell you what, doctors are always looking for the money. They're always looking to pay for that vacation they just took. They're always looking to pay for that big house, that big car, kind of like them preachers with those big old churches, right? They're not looking to feed the poor. They're looking to keep up that giant church and their image. And that costs money. And they want their congregation to pay for it. And then some reason in their head, they think that, they're going to fly high and get through the pearly gate. And I got a feeling they're going to be the ones that, Jesus says, I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't wear a Rolex. Jesus is probably going to tell them, I don't wear a Rolex. Right? I don't drive a big expensive car. I don't wear $1,000 suits. Right? That's just the way it is. You go to a doctor, man, you better tell that doctor, I'm here for a checkup. Right? It's been a while. I need a checkup. If you find something, let me know. Don't go in there telling them. Don't go in there telling them nothing. Tell them you feel top of the bucket. You just want to make sure you're going to be staying that way. And see what they find. Because if there's something wrong, then they should be able to tell you. Why the hell am I telling the doctor what's wrong with me? Why the hell am I telling the professional? Why am I doing their job? They're the doctor. They're supposed to tell me. If something's wrong, they're supposed to tell me. I ain't supposed to be telling them. What I'm saying is if my leg's hurting, they should know it. If my big toe's throbbing, they should know it. They're the damn doctor. If something ain't, looking right or working right or doing right, they supposed to tell me. I ain't supposed to go in there. I mean, here's how I feel. I'm not supposed to go in there, with something wrong with me anyway. Right? Because the doctor's supposed to be making sure nothing's wrong with me. The doctors are supposed to keep you healthy. And if something's wrong with me, then the doctor's not doing his job. I gotta get a new doctor. Right? If I need, all these pills, all these medications, a little blue one for this, and a little green one for that, and a little yellow one for that, and a little purple one for this. What the hell do I need a doctor for? He's supposed to be keeping me healthy, and it don't seem like I'm healthy at all. I gotta go see. I gotta go see a head doctor in order to find out what's wrong with the doctor, right? I'd be having to lay around in there and explain this shit, to a head doctor in order to try to figure out what's wrong with the doctor that's supposed to be keeping me healthy. And then I'm going to start wondering about my head doctor, because I shouldn't even need a head doctor. If my doctor would be doing his job, I wouldn't have needed the head doctor, And if I need the head doctor, then the head doctor ain't doing his job either, because I should be mentally healthy anyway. I'm going to tell you, I don't trust people, and that's why. It's a vicious cycle. Every time you go, they want to, they don't only want to make theirself money, but they want to make the pharmacy money too. I'm like, what the fuck? This is, that's double dipping. That's double dipping, man. There ain't no double dipping. if somebody's trying to double dip, man, then you got to get your own and you got to get your own and take your plate somewhere else, right? Because there ain't none of that shit. Oh yeah, she was on DHEX, absolutely. At the end right there, something was very wrong. And it has something to do with that 3 weeks. It has something to do with that 3 weeks. And I'll tell you why. At 3 weeks, at the 3-week mark, you had the swimming pool. Fred's talking about somebody being in that swimming pool. At the 3-week mark, you had Summer dancing in the rain. At the 3-week mark, you had Fred Hill picking up a bicycle. So you had a bicycle Summer's bike being taken away at 3 weeks by Fred. You had Fred up there at a swimming pool at the 3-week mark talking about Jody Sue's son being in it with Summer. At the 3-week mark, you had Summer dancing in that rain, and you could clearly tell she was being coached. She was being coached to, to come forward and then, and then twirl and walk, and walk back. What I'm saying is, this video, they wanted to make sure they got a back view of Summer walking away, the front view of Summer coming back towards them. They wanted to get her twirling around. They wanted to, get a side profile of her and then another side profile of her. And I'm going to tell you something. All of that shit is consistent with trafficking. If you agree, put a 1 in the chat. All of that shit is consistent with trafficking. I don't care what anybody says. That is the truth. That is consistent with getting customers. It's consistent with getting customers. Let me tell you something about these sick human beings that purchase that kind of stuff. Let it be every age, right? Very young, teen, young adult. Let it be any of that. Sometimes even middle-aged, right? You got some middle-aged women out there doing, but the point being is, in this technology world today, you got these key warriors, these weirdos sitting behind this screen, key warriors saying, I'm not buying a pig in the poke, right? I'm not going to buy a pig in a poke. Send me video. I want a front view, back view, side views. I want to know, where my money's going if I decide, to spend some time with it. I don't want it to show up and not be what I want. So that's what they do. They video, right? They video the front, they video the back, they video one side and the other side, and and that little twirl around is just throw in for inspiration, right? And to pique the interest of, whatever's on the other side of that screen watching. And Don and Candace happened to carry Summer out of there. Looks like she was passed out. She looked like she was passed out, right? They just happened to carry her out. Looked like she was passed out. And, took her somewhere. Dudley plainly said they carried her. They could come out of the house. They had her face down on Don's shoulder. She definitely was, asleep or unconscious. And they took her somewhere. And Dudley said, I found that very weird because Grandis was there with the 3 boys who were awake, and they're taking Summer somewhere, passed out. And he's like, wouldn't Grandma watch the one that was asleep, and they would take the ones that weren't, right? That's what Dudley said. And I was like, damn, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. That makes perfect sense. You know, why are they taking the one that needed to stay home and didn't take the ones that were awake and ready to go? And they said that the boys were asking, where are you taking Sissy? Where are you taking Sissy? And they wouldn't answer. Because Dudley had, you know, Dudley was all ears. He was wanting to know where they're taking Sissy too. But they didn't answer. And they would have to leave the area. They would have to leave the area to find a sicko that was able to pay good money. Yeah, hell yeah. Because the only thing that was in there was a bunch of broke ass bums, right? There wasn't nothing in there but a bunch of brokes. The only thing in there was, you know, that guy riding on the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at somebody. Motherfreaker don't have shit. Those motherfuckers were wearing out their tennis shoes, right? They didn't have nothing. You know. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, those people, you know, look at Fred. Fred thinks $5 is a lot of money, right? I'm going to tell you something. $1,000 ain't no money. $1,000 ain't no fucking money today. You got $1,000, it goes like water. It's gone like water, baby. $1,000 won't even pay your fucking rent. $1,000 won't even pay your rent, right? Rent is almost $2,000 a month now. It's anywhere from $1,500, $1,600, $1,800. Some of it's $2,200, $2,500 a month. Depends on where you live. If you're living somewhere where rent is under $1,000, you're living in the ghetto. Like you're living in the shabby of the shabby. And I'm going to be honest with you. There's some shabbies of the shabbies getting $1,200, $1,500 a month rent. And that don't include your gas, you know, your water, your electric, your internet and cable. You know, that's all extra too. So, you know, and these people think fucking $5 is a lot of money, you know, but they don't got no toilet. They don't got no damn bathroom. They ain't got, you know, these are people, their pants stand up in the corner, waiting for them to hop back in them come morning. Right? I mean, they're like, you know, they're like freaking old Kentucky where, you know, people, you know, where the people only bath like twice a year, right? They bathed in the springtime and then they bathed again before winter set in. They washed all the dirt off of them. They washed all the dirt from, you know, the season of planting and everything. I mean, it's like, what do you need a bath for? You're just going to get dirty again. What the fuck? That's a hell of a way of looking at it. What the hell are you talking about? What the hell somebody need a bath for? Ain't they just gonna get dirty again? That's why I want to take a bath, so I can get dirty again, right? Are you kidding me? You ain't gonna get dirty if you don't take a bath. Who in the hell are you going to get dirty with? Ain't nobody going to come around you. You're going to be like a fucking old maid. Rest of your damn life. You don't be taking a bath. What the hell are these people thinking? And then they run into their five-hole outhouse. That'd be stinking to high heaven. Probably eloping into their clothes and stuff. And they don't even take a bath. That's what Ben Hill Road is. It's like old fucking Kentucky. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you're old, you're so. See, that's not true. Here, I'm in Kentucky. It's a figure of speech. It's a figure of speech. Back in the 1800s, them people didn't bath but about twice a year. If you go back and check history, this is freaking history, man. This is documented history. Back when people had to draw water from a well. I mean, they didn't go into a bathroom and just turn the shit on. They had to go out there and crack ice. They had to crack motherfucking ice to get a bucket of water, right? They ain't going to be out there cracking ice every day so they could take a bath. They ain't going to be doing that shit. Then people, those people took yearly baths. That was nasty. That was nasty. But they did it because, I don't know why. I don't even know why. Somebody would have been having to pack some fucking water. I'd have been down there in the damn creek every day with a bar of soap, right? Hell with that. There ain't no way in hell. That's probably why all them people knew how to swim. They probably all knew how to swim because shit, that's the only way they could get a bath, or get the dirt off of them. I don't know. I don't know. But that's history. Those people would wear, and that's Ben Hill Road today. That is Ben Hill Road. Those people don't want a bath. It's weird. You're right. I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm going to tell you, Ivy. You know what? little man, when he gets so fussing, that's what I tell him. I tell him, you better quit a fussing, or I might not remember not to throw you out with the bathwater. Right? And come out and pick you up later. You're done with all that fussing. I tell you what, little man can fuss. He's a real fusser. I feel like I got a little old man. Way he fusses so much. I got a Benjamin, I got a Benjamin Button, right? He gonna grow old and then grow back into a baby, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't, I would think they could just dig the damn well closer to the house, right? I was thinking they could dig the damn well closer to the house, and then they could put like if they could build a log cabin, they could build a hallway, down to a covered well where they, even in the wintertime, they would stay pretty warm because they would be going through a hallway. And even in that hallway, if they could put a chimney inside the place, then they could put a chimney inside the hallway, right? Throw some wood in the chimney and keep the hallway warm. And they could go down the end of it and pull the water up out of the damn well. And why didn't they build the outhouse? Why didn't they have a U-turn down another hallway, and their five hole potty at the end of it, so that they can stay inside the house and go to the bathroom. They could stay kind of inside the house to go to the damn well. It's like none of these people had no brains. And why would they build their barn? Why would they build their barn 500 yards out from the house? I mean, they had to tie like 10 ropes together to get to the barn in the wintertime. It's crazy. I mean, build the barn closer to the house. Dig the well closer to the house. What the hell are these people doing? What was they thinking? I don't know. And digging those wells was dangerous because the farther down they went, like they would be like gases or something down in there that could kill these people, unlive them. It's like, what the hell was you doing? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to read the chat. That particular Spanish word, it means my son. Oh, that is so sweet, Chili Pepper. Absolutely.
Where I woke her up early and she usually sleeps until 9, 10, even 12 o'clock if I let her.
Okay. How did the milk bottles get rearranged? Hunter said he had them on the floor and then he put them next to him.
They weren't.
Is that true?
No.
Okay, so walk me through that.
When we dropped them off, they were actually still on his lap.
Okay.
And he put them on the other side of Summer.
Okay. So he reached over?
Yeah, he set them over there by that. That's a black tote she had in there.
When you pulled up, did she just fall asleep next to that?
She fell asleep, I'd say maybe 5 minutes on the road.
Okay.
If she fell asleep 5 minutes down the road and was woken up early, shouldn't she have wanted to go in the house and go to sleep?
If she fell asleep 5 minutes down the road, wouldn't Allison have seen her? Wouldn't Allison have knew she was awake? Wouldn't Allison, heard her hollering, "Hi, Allison, hi, Allison"? Wouldn't she have climbed out of the vehicle with Hunter and tried to run up to Allison's place? So Candace is saying Summer was awake, and Hunter and his mother saying no, she was asleep on some milk jugs. So it can't be both. It can't be both, right? No way it can be both. There you go. There you go. It cannot be both ways. Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. And did you guys take note that Dawn and Candace was 1 hour off from everyone else? Did you take note that Jody Sue and Andy and Fred Hill and Laura and Chad Arnold and Marlena Crawford and all of these people surrounding Summer's case? Did you take note that they're all on the 4:30, 4:40, 45, 47, 48 mark? And Dawn and Candace is on the 5:30, 5:47, 5:40. They're 1 hour fucking off. 1 hour off from everybody else. That tells me that Jody Sue and Marlena Crawford and Fred and Chad and all of them, it tells me that they all was on the time frame of when everything really went down. And Dawn and Candace was on the time frame of when they were gaslighting, bullshitting, and calling law enforcement. And these people weren't good at what they did. They weren't good at it. They were not good at it. I think they didn't think it out. They didn't think it out good enough. See, they're all on the time frame of when, everything was supposed to happen. Candace was supposed to come back. She was supposed to come back at around 5, as soon as, she's supposed to be back calling law enforcement about 5:09 instead of, 6:09 calling Dawn. She was supposed to be doing that stuff, immediately around 5:09 and, and 5:30. She must have fucked around somewhere and lost track of, of what she was supposed to be doing and ran it in late. Because see, if she would have called Dawn at 5:09 and she would have called law enforcement by 5:30, then the timeline Jody Sue and Chad and Marlena and Fred, everybody had would have worked. It would have worked. but it didn't work because somehow Candace, Dawn, and Grandis got off the time frame and basically messed everything up. And I, you know, and that really, you know, that really is what allows us to know exactly what happened. That's what allows us to know, you know, that they're a bunch of liars. It allows us to know that, you know, half of these people was on one time frame, gaslighting people up, and it didn't correspond with the other time frame that Dawn and Candace and Grandis, you know, fucked up and got off track on. And that tells me Candace must have came back up on the hill, and she must have, you know, spent some time talking to Grandis, you know, about a whole lot of stuff, and lost track of time before going over and gaslighting the boys, and then, you know, carrying through with their evil plan of doing what they did, in my opinion. You know, I think, personally, you know, we pretty much know exactly what happened on June 15th, 2021. I think law enforcement, and you know, that's what really bothers me. It's because I think law enforcement knows everything that happened on June 15th, 2021 as well. And what bothers me is they're not facing it. It's like, you know, for some reason, they're not wanting to put it out. Why? Why? And, you know, and that's a question for the new sheriff coming in, right? That's a question. Because if a bunch of people out here, like, if all of us could figure out exactly what happened, are we smarter than law enforcement? If we could put the puzzle together, I mean, wasn't it law enforcement? Wasn't it Ronnie's and their ideal to find all the pieces to a puzzle? Wasn't it their puzzle that they, you know, that they told us all that they were putting together to understand exactly what happened to Summer and where she could possibly be? Wasn't they the one talking about it just takes that one piece? Well, god dang, they've had all kinds of fucking pieces. They've had a hell of a lot more than one. And Dawn and Candace still loose. They're still running around. Even that creepy granny somewhere. That fucking creepy granny somewhere, man. She's out there loose. We don't even know where the fuck she is. Right? She could be anywhere. That's just scary. Could you imagine? Could you imagine her walking down your street? Like, whoa. You know? It'd make me want to pick up my house and move. Right? You see old Grandis walking down the road, it's like, whoa, what the fuck? You know, what got loose out of the crep, right? What the hell is that? Man, shut the windows and doors. And shut them, lock them, bar them up. Put shit against them. They want to talk about the Night of the Living Dead? Whoa. Yeah, right. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble too, Chili Pepper. Don't worry. Don't worry. You'll slide through the pearly gates because I'm sure, you know, I'm sure the Lord's gonna be very busy out there with PG. Everybody else, I'll be watching everybody else slip through the gate, right? And the Lord asked me, you got anything that you want to say, PG? And I tell him, yeah, I got a wish, right? I got a wish, Lord. What's your wish? Well, I wish I'd have been one of those people that just got to slip through that gate while you was busy with me. Right? That's what I have to say. Wish he was busy with somebody else. So I could have got in there. Because I'm afraid right now I probably ain't. Right? Thanks to YouTube. Probably going to hell because of YouTube. It's the truth. It's the truth. I worry about it. Straight up, I worry about it. every night, I get up in the morning, make a wrong turn, and in the evening I get up making a right turn. Every evening I make a wrong turn. That's what I feel like. I feel like I make a right turn and when I get up and a wrong turn before I go to bed. Right? That ain't a good combination, man. That ain't a good combination at all. Messing with these missing kids cases get you all upset. I mean, you can feel better. You make yourself feel better and say, oh, Jesus flipped the tables. You know, like that's gonna get you in heaven. Hey, Jesus, you flipped the tables too. You're gonna be like, you done a lot more than flip tables, PG. Right? I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna be in trouble and I know it. No doubt in my mind. Probably gonna get in trouble for giving a bunch of people the steel toe boot just because I didn't understand that they wasn't talking to me. Right? Yeah, he does. The Lord knows our hearts. He does know our hearts. Thank God for that. But I'm going to tell you what, I don't know if that'd be enough. Right? I'm not sure that's going to be enough. I mean, you got to walk on the straight and you got to walk on the narrow to get into heaven, you know? And I'd be getting off. I'm going to be honest with you. The back of my britches are wore out just as much as the freaking front knee pads, right? As much as the freaking front knee pads are. Trust me. I got just as many fucking holes in the seat of my pants as I do in the knees of them. And I know it. And trust me, PG knows it. I'm going to be in trouble. You want to talk about backsliding? Shit. I'm going to tell you something. If backsliding made you younger, you know, going down that damn hill, made you as young as going up, it made you old. I'd be a newborn baby again. For real. I mean, that shit ain't funny. It's true. Yeah. You know, you know, it's true. I think I think we're solving Summer's case. I think we're, understanding everything that went down on June 15th, 2021. But, I'd like to see Summer again someday, right? I like to see her, I like to meet her up in heaven and, let her know how hard everybody worked to solve her case on earth to get her the justice she deserved. And, most of all, to find her so she'd be laid to rest properly so her brothers could get closure, so all of us could get some closure, and so she could get some closure in all of this. And, but I'd like to see her, and I seriously do worry, that that's going to happen the way that this community operates, like I ain't ever seen people who, they're all supposed to be on the same page. They're all supposed to be one for these missing kids, but they come at each other sideways. They get ugly with one another. They try to, cause as much misery and hell and other people's lives as they possibly can. And I'm not talking about misery and hell in the suspects' lives. I'm talking about misery and hell in the lives of the people out here doing righteous in the sight of God for these missing kids. And there ain't nothing right about that, right? There ain't nothing right about that. It's like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand that kind of ugliness. I don't understand, this creator that, that gets pissed off. They get pissed off because this person, like, for instance, Dolly is jealous of JLR. White boy is jealous of JLR, and they want to sit there and watch him under a microscope. They watch him like he's a specimen, and his every move to see if he's going to make a wrong one, so they can jump on it and try to destroy him. And why would you do that? I mean, ain't he out here, to be for missing people? Ain't he out here to, to do a job? And I think he does it. I mean, I don't know about what he does in his personal life, and that's not my business. But, what I'm out here for and what I'm out here to, to accomplish and see and everything, I think he's doing a hell of a job accomplishing it. And that's the reason we watch him. That's the reason, he's here, and he does a great job where the missing people are concerned. And and that's that's where our focus should be. but you have people who envy him and hate him and are jealous of him, right? They have envy, jealousy, and hatred. And they just want to, destroy him. And that's just not right. And, that happens to all of us. Some reason these creators has got it in their head. If they get rid of you and they get rid of others, they're going to get all these people that these people get. Well, they're wrong. They're wrong. They're, White Boy and Dolly ain't going to get all the people who's watching JLR. They're not going to get them because these people love JLR. They don't love Dolly and White Boy. They like him. And that's who, and that's who they want to follow, and that's who they want to listen to, and, that's who they're interested in hearing from. Just like the people who listen to White Boy, they might not want to listen to JLR. They might not want to listen to Benny Keys. They might not want to listen to Dolly. Just because you destroy someone else's channel isn't going to give you more people. Even if you're the only one out here, you're still just going to have the crowd, the crowd that likes you, the crowd that wants to be with you, the crowd that finds you interesting. That's all you're going to have. So stop, just stop, because all you're doing is hurting the children. Because if you're not here, those people that were watching you, they're not going to go somewhere else. They're just going to go away and go back to, living their normal life, because they can't stand to listen to someone else. They don't like listening to someone else, and they'll find something else to do instead of being out here for these missing kids. So all you did was hurt the missing kids that needed everyone to be hearing about them. Not someone, but everyone. You hurt them. And, because you had some fantasy up in your fucking head that was just abnormal as hell. And you were the last one to know it, right? And that's pretty much what's going on. They're all weird and shit. I ain't trying to get rid of anybody. Actually, I'm trying to promote more people. I'm trying to promote more people to be here, so that, so they'd be more people tuning in and seeing these missing kids. Like on Facebook, everything I share. I used to have people ask me, PG, is it okay to share this? PG, is it okay to share that? I said, don't ask me if it's okay to share it. I made it public. Of course it's okay to share. I wouldn't put it out here if I didn't want it shared. It's a missing child's channel. Of course we want it all shared. I don't care who makes it. I don't, get it out there. Share it all over the world, because we need these kids found. We need help. Of course. But that showed me that there was a lot of creators, a lot of people that, said, I don't want you sharing stuff on my Facebook. I don't want other people being able to get a hold of it and show the stuff I put together. Like your shit's sacred. Fuck that. That's crazy. You're putting stuff together for missing kids, but you don't want other people using it. Oh, you're going to report them if they do. Come on. Are you serious? Don't tell me you're for missing kids when you're doing shit like that. If you was really for a missing child, you wouldn't care what people used, because you just care about these kids being found. It wouldn't be about anything else. You wouldn't be worried about stupid shit. Just saying. And that's why a community like this worries me, because you can't stay on the right path. You can't stay on a righteous path out here. They upset you, they make you angry, you know, and then I start using my French, you know, and then I get in trouble for using my French. You know, people say, oh, I don't like it because PG speaks French. And I'm like, shit. I thought French was everybody's second language in America, right? I thought we all understand it. We all understand it. I just thought it was a second language. You know, people say, excuse my French. I got haters looking at me saying, there ain't no excuse for it. Right? She said it's my first language. Right? Anyway, listen, you guys, I just really wanted to come in tonight, hang out with everybody for a little while. Well, little man gave me a break. I was wanting to come and hang out with some adults, right? I tell you something. all that baby talk all day. I gotta find some adults to talk to, so I can remember to speak adult too. Right? I might forget how to speak adult language, talking to little man all day with all that goo goo gaga stuff. But I tell you, and he loves watching cartoons. He does, but he does not like. Let me tell you about little man. I thought for sure, you know, that he was going to like Peppy, you know, Peppy Pig and you know, all of the new modern, you know, up to date stuff. No, little man does not like certain. He likes Mickey Mouse. He likes Mickey Mouse. He likes, you know, the hot dig. He loves that. You can play it over and over and over, and he'll just, you know, he'll just sit there and watch it. I thank God for that. And he likes the Mickey Mouse. He likes the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. He likes, you know, certain stuff. But I'm going to tell you right now, you stick some of that Peppy Pigs or the Blue's Clues, or little man, like, he gets fussing. He gets real fussing. The Bear in the Big Blue House, oh my gosh, I think it scares him. He don't like it. But I'm going to tell you something. You know how all of a sudden, you know, you tune into your TV like you tune into YouTube, and the stuff you watch most pops up, right? And for me, it was like Lifetime and Hallmark and, you know, and all this good stuff. You know, mystery movies and recipes and, you know, all of this good stuff. Now when I turn it on, it's all of this freaking cartoons, right? I could pick any cartoon I want. I can, you know, I can listen to the Choo Choo Train, right? The Go to Sleep Choo Choo Train song. Has anybody else listened to the Go to Sleep Choo Choo Train song? Has anybody else listened to that? All aboard the Choo Choo Train. Oh my gosh, I got that song stuck in my head. Little man wants to hear it every night before he goes to sleep. He wants to hear All Aboard the Choo Choo Train. Lord have mercy. And he listens to it. He goes to sleep with it. And I don't like to complain, but after you've heard it for this many months, and if you put on anything else, his eyeballs will stay wide open. They will keep staring at you. He's not going to go to sleep for you. It has to be that particular song. Like, you want to talk about repetition. Little man's in repetition. Yeah, it's exactly. Her eye was, I didn't take note to that, to how damaged that eye was. I didn't take note to how damaged it. I don't know why forensics. I'm going to be honest with you. I think forensics told law enforcement that they can't prove it, but they're pretty sure. They're more sure that she wasn't alive than they were she was alive, right? Listen, what would you guys think about me putting a visual, like you'll be able to see step by step of June 15th, the morning, starting at the beginning and going all the way to when Candace was coming back on to Ben Hill Road. Part 1. And then a video together of what we believe, visually you could see what we believe happened after she got home up to the time law enforcement showed up. Put a 1 in the chat if you think you'd be interested in seeing something like that. I mean, you would just, it's not like you're just hearing it. You would basically be able to see it step by step. Clearly see it like you would watch a movie. You would clearly see step by step as it progressed that day. All right. I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. I can give you a complete visual of what we believed happened from the time they left the hill that morning all the way up till they was returning to gaslight the boys up. I can put that into a visual for you. So you can actually, I know, I mean, when people talk about it, you can pretty much comprehend it. You know what I'm saying? You can see something in your own mind, how it's playing out, but it's not like it's not like, you know, when you're watching a video and, you know, and it's taking you step by step, you know, through the progress and the process of it all. And I thought that might be beneficial. You know, it might be beneficial to you guys. I think it would give you a better understanding of, you know, a better understanding of the accomplishments, you know, the compliments we made over 5 years. I mean, really, it didn't take us 5 years to accomplish it. But it's taken law enforcement. It's taken law enforcement. You know, we really should send it to law enforcement because they're the ones that need to see it. They're the ones that need to comprehend it. They're the ones that need to do something about it, right? For real. Oh, little man don't like Paw Patrol. He don't like Paw Patrol. I tried. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true, D-Hex. Absolutely. I thought you was talking about Paw Patrol like Summer was, you know, he liked Paw Patrol. But my little guy, he likes watching the Big Blue Baby. He cracks up. He thinks that Big Blue Baby's funny. And he likes Mickey Mouse. He likes stuff like that. Yeah, it did. It did, Bridget. I'm going to tell you something. They couldn't prove it. They were pretty sure of it. Because Ronnie Lawson said, what took 4.5 hours to call law enforcement? Ask the Wells what took them 4.5 hours to call us. Well, that told me that forensics told him that they believe Summer was more unalived than alive in that vehicle. That's what I got out of it. That, you know, I mean, that's just common sense right there. That's common sense. When law enforcement wants to know what took you 4.5 hours to call them, they got some solid shit on you. That's all I got to say. I think that Candace taking that video did more damage, than good for her and Donald's sake. That's just my opinion. I think that she put evidence into law enforcement's hands against her instead of for her, if you ask me. They still play. Ivy's mom. They still have the Bear in the Big Blue House. The cartoon, and they still have Barney. They still have Barney, the big purple dinosaur. They have Barney, but little man, he don't like Barney. He don't like the big bear. He don't like Barney. Um, he just ain't into that. I hate Barney. So does little man, Ivy's mom. So does little man. Yeah, man, you turn Barney on and he starts a fussing. Right? He'll get the fussing. You have to turn it off. As soon as you turn it off, he quits fussing. He's like, he don't like it. I don't know why, but he don't. He don't care for it. And he doesn't care for, like, you know, he doesn't care for certain lullaby songs. Like some songs. I bought him one of those. I bought him one of those big, the boxes that you put on the when music boxes that have all the light. It lights up, and it has different colors of fishies and things like that. And I bought him this particular toy, and it's pretty expensive. And I thought put it in his crib bed. He'd probably like that. And oh hell no! I'm going to tell you something. I had to take the box. I had to take the box and go hide it. Little man didn't like that thing at all. It's like, whoa. He did not like it. So I got him a iPad, and I put the cartoons that he likes, like the Mickey Mouse house and Clubhouse and all that stuff, and he loves that. He absolutely loves that stuff. But and then I put him, I put him in his bouncer and turn on the big TV, and he'll sit there and watch the ones he likes. But if you turn on something, you turn on something he don't like, he gets a fussing. And let me tell you something that my kids do, and his dad. And let me tell you what they do. If I run out of the room, I say, hey, you guys watch the baby. I got to run and check on, the steaks, or I got to check on, the ribs or whatever I'm cooking. I'll be right back. They will flip the TV to something little man does not like, just so they can laugh, because he don't like it, right? Just so they can laugh. He doesn't like it. Ha 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 ha. I told you he don't like it. Yeah. Well, now I'm going to have to start taking little man to check on the ribs, or to check on the steak, or check on whatever I'm cooking, because they are doing this stuff. I told him, I said, you guys are worse than a child, right? What are you doing? You want to see him fuss? I'm telling you, they're like big kids. They're like big kids. Even his dad's like a big kid. And speaking of that big kid, I think I hear him walking around somewhere in the house. He always walks real heavy. I know when he's walking around, right? Because it sounds like, it sounds like one of those, ghosts off of Scooby-Doo, right? Sounds like one of them freaking ghosts off of Scooby-Doo that, pulls the chains or stomps when they walk. That's what he sounds like. Like fucking Bluebeard walking through the house. I'm like, And he even got boots on. You don't even have no damn boots on. I'm like, why the hell do you stomp everywhere? That's got to be hard on the, I hear him. That's got to be hard on the freaking joints of the house. Sounds like he's moving something. It might be out. He might be moving out. I don't know. With little man. With little man, he might be moving out. Right. Oh shit. Oh God. Okay, you guys, I think I'm getting too tired. When I get tired, all I do is laugh. My husband says, why the fuck you laugh all the time? That's what he told me. Why the fuck you laugh all the time? You think everything's funny, right? I'm like, why the hell not? Why, that's my choice, right? If you don't choose to laugh, that's your problem, not mine. Right? What's the matter with you? You can't own my feelings. Sometimes I think that I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if he's 5 or I'm 5. Yeah, you can hear him willing on the floor with his wheelchair. At one time. Oh shit. I don't think that was a wheelchair. That was somebody dragging something. It was definitely somebody dragging shit. Oh shit. I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes, I will tell you what, sometimes I wish he was, if my old man was in a wheelchair and up on the top floor like that, oh shit, I would have probably, I'd probably done pushed him down. Oh shit, you guys don't know. Oh God. Oh, that's funny shit. Oh God. Wait till I get off of here. I'm gonna be keeping my old man up tonight, laughing. I'm gonna be like, they said you were in a wheelchair. I was telling him I'm glad it was him in a wheelchair and not PG. I could have been mad, but I'm not. Oh shit. Oh damn. Mommy. Shit. I said they went put him in a wheelchair. Wait till he hears that. Oh, shit. Oh, God have mercy. That's the funniest thing. Man, I hope this shit don't hit me for the next week. I'm one of those people when somebody says something like that. And it hits my mind, I just start laughing again. It could be a fucking month later. And there's some shit I just cannot think about. Right? That's going to be one of them now. Oh, shit. Oh, God have mercy. Oh, Lord have mercy. God forgives what? What does God forgive? Chili Pepper said, don't ever speak too soon, PG. What does God forgive? Oh, God have mercy. That's what I'm saying right now. Lord have mercy. Oh, you know something, D Hicks, I haven't thought about on Thomas the train. You know, he might like that. I'm glad you brought that up. I am so glad you brought that up. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna test it out tomorrow. I'm gonna put on. Yeah, I love that Thomas the Train. I do. I didn't even think about that cartoon because he likes the Choo Choo Train song to go to sleep. He might like that. Yeah, girl. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. All right, you guys, I'm going to head out of here. But it was great being in here. It was great being in here tonight. I hope I didn't misunderstand about the wheelchair. I think she was saying that she thought she heard my husband rolling around in one. Isn't that what she was saying? Put a 1 in the chat if she was talking about my husband. She thought she heard him rolling around in a wheelchair. That's what I hope she wasn't talking about her husband. I hope she wasn't talking about her own husband. You know, I thought she was talking about mine. That's why I found it so funny. You know, and she put him in a wheelchair. I mean, it should be funny to me, but for some reason it is. Right? Maybe I misunderstood. I don't know. I mean, that's the problem with text, right? That's the problem with texting. You don't know. You know, it ain't like you're talking to somebody and can fully understand what's going on. Sometimes I get it wrong. I'm not perfect, even though I want to be. I'm not. But yeah, see, Bridget, that's what I thought you was talking about. I thought you was talking about my husband, rolling around. Oh my God. Yeah, that's funny as hell. That cracks me up. I mean, I can't wait to tell him that he's that he's supposed to be rolling around. Right? He'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I don't think he's gonna laugh. I really don't think he's gonna laugh. I'm laughing for him. Oh wow! I'm sorry to hear that, D-Hex. Yeah, girl, you need to get some rest. I'm gonna tell you what, girl, I crack myself up. Right? I crack my own self up. I mean, what are you supposed to do? What, somebody tells you, somebody tells your husband rolling around in a wheelchair. I mean, what are you supposed to do? I find that shit funny. Right? It's like, I don't know. Shit. Anyway, I don't know. I still find it funny as hell. I'm trying not to find the humor in it, but that was just too damn funny right there. You guys don't know my husband. Yeah, you don't know him. And I can't wait to tell him what people said. Right? About him rolling around. He's not going to find it funny. And I know it. That's what's so damn funny about it, is he's not going to find it funny. Oh, God, have mercy. Oh, shit. Listen, you guys, I'm going to head out of here before I get in more trouble. Right? Get out of here. All right. I appreciate you guys coming out. I appreciate you hanging with me too. You guys stuck with me for a while now. I'm like the mother freaking late night show. That's what PD is. Or night owls. But anyway, keep those prayers going up. Keep them going up for Summer. I will not ever leave here without asking that you keep prayers going up for this little girl, because I truly believe God is answering. I believe he's answering our prayers. I think he's letting us put the puzzle together and understand exactly what happened to her. And if we can understand exactly what happened to her, well, I think we'll be able to find her. I think we'll be able to pinpoint where she's at. That's what I think. And if God's given us all of this, he's obviously going to give us that as well. So let's keep those prayers going up, because that's the only part we ain't got. The only part we ain't got is exactly where Summer's at. Let us pray for that. We prayed to know what happened to her. We prayed to be able to tell her story. We prayed for everything we've got so far. Let's pray for her now. Let's pray to know where she is. The last bit, lead us to her, Lord, right? Lead us to her. Let us know where she's at so we can get her found, brought home, and some justice served. That's what we want in the name of Jesus, right? Amen. Keep the prayers going up for the rest of these missing kids too. Michael Vaughn's cases is in the works. Everything's going to start. I think it's September, if I'm correct. The trial, everything's going to start in September, run into October, I believe. So let us stay on top of that one as well. Let's pray that Michael gets justice. Let's pray that that little boy gets found, brought home, justice served as well. Let's pray for Sebastian Rogers, Jack and Lily Sullivan, still out there somewhere. I hope that Jack and Lily's still alive. I really hope that they're still alive. Emmanuel hasn't been found. Genesis has not been found. Nancy Guthrie has not been found. So let's keep those prayers going up, because all these people need them. They need our prayers. Their families need our prayers. People who love these people, we need to be praying for them, because they're the ones hurting. They're hurting the most. So let us pray for them in the name of Jesus as well. And pray for one another. Pray for one another. There's a lot of people needing prayer. I don't know what's going on in a lot of people's lives right now, but there's a lot of people needing your prayers. That's right here in this chat. That's right here in Summer's Army. I don't know if they're in the bushes. I don't know if they're in the chat. I just know they're present. And these people need prayer. Something's going on in their lives. So be the ones that pray for them. Be the ones that ask God. Tell God you don't know what they want, what they need. But you do know that they're hoping someone's praying for them. They're hoping that some kind of comfort comes to them somehow, some way. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling that somebody needing comfort. Something's going on in their life that, they're all messed up. They're all confused. Let us pray that God somehow, takes away whatever's causing that confusion, whatever's causing that, that pain and that great want for people to pray. They really believe in prayer. They do. They just, I guess maybe they don't know how to ask for it, but they're sure hoping they get it. And I don't know who these people are. I know they know who they are. I mean, I know that if it's you, I'm talking about you. And we do pray. We do pray. We ask God all the time. We tell him all the time. We don't know what people need or want, but we sure do pray that God answers all of our prayers in the name of his son, Jesus Christ. You just have to believe that this too will pass. Right? That this too shall pass. Whatever's going on in your life, it won't last forever. If where there's a will, there's a way. It ain't going to last. You got to understand that God's with you. He's going to pull you through it, and you're going to be okay. Bear with it. Bear with it. It'll be all right. We all go through shit. Every last one of us. Different stuff. But when you measure it up, it's all the same. It's all the same. Everybody has issues. People don't feel good every day. People, we take our turns. We all take our turns of not feeling good. We all take our turns of being hurt by people. We all take our turns, right? we all take our turns of falling on our asses and having to get back up. It ain't, you got to take the bad with the good. Thank God that bad doesn't last. Thank God it disappears. And, you don't ever worry about it again, right? And it will pass. It will pass. Just keep faith in God and His Son, Jesus Christ. Keep faith in them. I'm going to tell you, if you got any issues, take it to the Lord. You got any problems, I'm going to tell you where you'll find the answers. It's on your knees. That's where you're going to find the answers. Is on your knees. Drop to your knees and talk to the big man up there. Talk to God Almighty through His Son Jesus Christ. And that's where you're going to get not just the answer, but the solution to your problems. You got things going on. You want those things to stop? Well, drop and pray. You ain't going to get rid of there is no faster way to get rid of the devil than dropping to your knees and praying to God. When you drop to your knees and pray to God, the devil flees. And all the ugly stuff flees with you. And your problems, you wake up in the morning, and whatever your problem was, it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. Sometimes it'll disappear at the minute you're talking to God. Right while you're talking to Him, whatever it is, it'll be gone. No matter what it is, whether it's mentally, physically, financially, it doesn't matter. Take it to God, because He's the only one that can make it go away, right? That's what you got to do. And, that's the most PG can tell you. And you always know when people's praying for you, because your life gets better. It don't get better. It gets better. And I know people are praying for us. I know people are praying for us. Trust and believe it. I know they are. I know somebody prays for PG. I know that for a fact. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know who prays the most. I know who prays the most for me. Ain't that weird? But I know who does it the most. And I surely appreciate it. Trust and believe that. I've been through some shit. I don't bring it out here. I don't talk to people about it. I rarely talk about my business, the bad stuff. I rarely confide any of that to people. People don't want to hear the bad stuff. They just want to hear all the good. So I try to tell all the good. I try to lighten people's spirits, not pound more stuff on top of it. And, so I deal with a lot of stuff. I deal with it. But I know somebody that prays for me all the time. And I tell you what, they got a main line straight into heaven. They got a main line straight into heaven too. Trust and believe that. And they're praying for you. They're praying for you. I know that as well. But I'm going to head out of here. Hopefully we'll get together tomorrow night. We'll get together sooner, a lot sooner, and be able to get a lot more rest. I got to get up here in a couple hours, take care of little man, get ready for work, run a full day. But I'll try my best to be back here tomorrow night, right? In the meantime, you guys be good. You be good. You get up in the morning and you turn right, because that's the road that leads to heaven. And that's where I want to see all of you when we all get there. Good night, everybody. God bless. Much love.